Good morning, students. Today we are going to start chapter number 3, Ruling the Countryside. First of all, you need to understand the meaning of countryside. Countryside means the areas which were rural, means that the rural areas were known as countryside. So now here it will be told about the ruling the countryside means how the Britishers started to rule on the rural area. In this chapter, we will read how East India Company, after becoming Diwan of Bengal, earned its revenue by formulating some new methods of revenue collection. Now, let's start the chapter. The company becomes the Diwan. On 12 August 1765, the Mughal Emperor appointed the East India Company as the Diwan of Bengal. So what happened that on 12 August 1765 the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II granted the Diwani rights of Bengal to East India Company, and this was granted after the Battle of Buxar. About Battle of Buxar, we have already read in the previous chapter that this Battle of Buxar was fought in 1764. Okay, so this was signed by Shah Alam II and Robert Clive. Now, the company became the chief financial administrator of Bengal. When the company achieved the right of Diwani, the responsibility of administering the land and organizing its revenue also came on the shoulders of the company. Not only this, it had to ensure that it could buy the products it needed at cheaper rates and sell them at higher rates. Now, over the years, the company had also learned how to play safe in an unknown land, that is India. Now, here what I mean is that company had to pacify those who were the early rulers of the countryside. It was not possible to eliminate them completely, so the company did many of the things. For example, organize its revenue resources to yield crops it needed, colonizing the countryside. That's what we are going to study further in this chapter. Now, next topic is revenue for the company. Though the company became Diwan of Bengal province, still it was working as a trading company. It was not interested in setting up any regular system of assessment and collection of revenue. Their main aim was to increase revenue only, so that they have plenty of money to buy cotton and silk, but the prices of the goods had increased so far. Now, as we have studied in previous chapters that earlier the company was dependent upon the inflow of gold and silver from Britain for purchasing goods in India. But after 1765, things changed, and now revenue from Bengal was enough to purchase goods. But here also a big problem arose. What was that problem? The economy of Bengal faced a deep crisis because of few of the things. Artisans left Bengal as they were being forced by the company to sell their products at cheaper rate. Peasants were unable to pay the heavy dues laid on them. Agriculture was collapsing. Big famine of 1770 hit Bengal. This killed about 10 million of population there, washing out about one third of the population of Bengal. As such incidents took place which ruined the economy heavily. The company then felt the need of improving the agriculture. Now you can see here in this picture that the peasants and artisans are coming here in this market, which is known as the weekly market, and this weekly market was also affected a lot. It was also badly affected during the times of economic crisis. There is the next topic, the need to improve agriculture. Now, most of the company officials were of the view that there was a great need of investing in land and agriculture in order to improve it, because the fall in agriculture was resulting into great loss of revenue of the company. Therefore, after long thinking, in 1793, the company took the decision of introducing the revenue collection method known as permanent settlement. Now, what was the permanent settlement? As per the settlement, the Rajas and Talukdars were now known as the Zamindars, and now they had to collect the rent from peasants, which was fixed permanently by the Britishers. The main aim behind this was that Zamindars will only pay the fixed amount to Britishers, since the demand of revenue will not increase and will invest into the improvement of agriculture to generate extra income for themselves. But it did not go as per their plan and the problems arose. Now, what were the problems? The permanent settlement, however, did not prove to be that useful as thought by the company. Soon it was discovered that zamindars were not investing in the improvement of land because the rent fixed was so high that it became impossible for the zamindars to pay it off. As a result, they were deprived of zamindars. Even the zamindaris were also put on auction by the company. Meanwhile, something new was noticed by the company, that the situation was changing as the prices of the goods were increasing, and slowly but gradually the agriculture was also expanding. This led to benefit of zamindars, but for the company it remained same as the revenue was fixed. Even the zamindars were not keen to invest in improvement of agriculture because they were gaining a lot without putting any efforts in the form of the rent that they obtained from the peasants. On the other hand, what happened? The cultivators found it extremely oppressive as they had to pay very high rent to zamindars, though they did not have ownership over the land that they worked on. Then, now we know the problems being faced by the company regarding generation of revenue. We should now move to the solution it came up with. So what was the solution? A new system is devised. So this we will continue in the next lecture.